Now, we're delighted to be joined by Paralympian Greta Streimikyte. I think I've got that nearly correct. Greta, how are you?
Yes, you did it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. You're here to help promote the Goal Mile, which is proudly supported by AIB this Christmas. AIB are encouraging communities across the island to step up together and re-establish the tradition of taking part in the Goal Mile. Check out goalmile.org. Why did you get involved in this, Greta?
Why did I decide to take a part of it? Sorry.
Yeah, the Goal Mile is obviously something that it's a long established tradition. Is it? I was just interested in your decision to get involved in helping to promote it.
Yeah, I think it is a nice tradition to be. Like you said, it is a nice tradition to be a part of. You know, it's something that we do when we obviously now there's more time to do it, not only during only Christmas Day. There's different days that you can do it as well, and you can find them on the website. But I think it's something nice to do. First of all, to do it with your friends, with the family. You know, you can walk it, you can jog it, you can set a goal. You know, to run a certain time per mile. I think it's a nice tradition to be a part of. And then, you know, you do it in the morning and then you sit down, you know, and have your meal and dinner with your family. I think it's something that you can even find as like gathering together, doing something together on a Christmas Day. So I feel like it's a nice thing to do. And then you're doing it for a good cause as well. So I think it ticks the boxes.
Yeah, 100%.
Sport runs in your family, Greta, as well. I know there's a bit of a basketball legend in your family, so sport, I guess, came naturally to you.
Yeah, so my aunt, Greta Streimikyte, she was one of the first Lithuanian female players that played for NBA, Indiana, and I think she was always one of the. When I was growing up, I think she was one of those, you know, people that you kind of, I probably didn't realize at the time when I was younger, but she was definitely one of those people that I was like, oh, like, could I be something when I grow up? Could I be? She's been just incredible, and she still is. And just recently, she actually been rewarded at the Hall of Fame for the basketball and things that she did. So I think it was something that I striving for when I was growing up.
Yeah, remind people who are unfamiliar with your story, Greta, maybe about your visual impairment and I guess how that led to you becoming one of our Paralympians.
So I think my vision impairment, if we come back to vision impairment, so I would have retinopathy, and that was caused when I was put into incubator. But I think when I always say that I was one of those athletes that came to sport quite late, and I actually started running when I came to Ireland, and even a few years after, so when I was 17, and then I just. My PE teacher was like, because we kind of was known that like we kind of love sport and you know we're always active, and PE teacher was like, oh Greta, do you want to go ahead and you know and run for the community race in Santry? And I was like, yes, I'm going to give it a go. And I think that was my first 800 meters, and then after that the same PE teacher came back to me and was like, oh Greta, would you like to maybe join the Colony Warriors, and then maybe Paralympic Games. And back then I didn't know what the Paralympic Games was, and for me it was a learning journey, and learning about the sport. And then I'll go, I'll train, I'll see how I go. And you do just start with like enjoying the sport and seeing how well you can do, and then a number of years later, here we are.
Like, how important were people in your life? Like, I know you've mentioned before, I think with us maybe, was it Sean Gallagher, your PE teacher? It strikes me that very often for careers like your own, you need someone who kickstarts you or gets you involved in sport, and I guess the role of role models is important.
Yes, I think so. And like, it is, you're so right. Like, when I look back and when I think, like, it's incredible how one person can change direction of your life, because if not a PE teacher, stopping me at the corridor and saying, "Oh, Greta, there's a community race. Would you like to do it?" And if I would have never done it, I would have never been where I am today. And if it's not him coming back to me again and saying, "Greta, maybe you should join maybe you should join a club. Maybe you'll see where it can lead you." Like, if not him, like, I wouldn't be when I am today. And I guess we also can come back to people that we surround ourselves with. Like, it's incredible how much that impacts our life. We can say in sport, incredibly, you grow with people. Like, let's say I'm with the Dublin Track Club, you grow with the athletes, we develop together, we learn from each other, but also in life as well.
I think that's really important. I think the crossover of the value of sport into general wider society, like you're making the point that somebody needs to help, everybody needs a little bit of help along the way in whatever career they're going to get, and opportunities too. Specifically though, about the value of role models in Paralympian sport, somebody saying to you early on that this is something that you can get involved in, and you going, well, what is that? Like, the curiosity that is inspired, but then somebody needs to know about what the opportunities are. And your visibility as a role model now is something that is actually going to carry on to the next generation as well. So you're kind of building layer on layer. And that's why competing in European Championships and being successful in them, and then going to Olympic Games and doing your very best, is like you're actually paying something forward to other people who might also have suffered at some point in their lives from a setback or a disability, and it's obviously not just for future Paralympians, but it's for future athletes as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I always look at it as something that I think I started for myself. So I'm doing it like because I love the sport. I'm doing it because I want to be as best as I can be. I'm doing it because that's a part of my life at the moment. And I always think about it, if there's somebody that she's like, oh, maybe like I saw my aunt being so successful in basketball. Like, if they're, let's say, it's a girl, like, we can see like issues and and a girl's not carrying on to, in sport and dropping out and all these kind of stuff. So like, if there's somebody there that, can say, oh, like, maybe I can do it, maybe I can reach the senior level in sport. Yeah. So I think, that only is the icing on the cake, like I would like to say. So, but I feel like, from my perspective, we always need to start from ourselves, and then, if there's somebody there that sees like, oh, maybe I can do it too, that's only amazing.
We in Irish sport are very guilty of always looking forward. So the Rugby World Cup, we've been talking about it now for 3 years, and it's nearly upon us. The Paris Games in 2024, it's not that far away. And yeah, obviously it is a long-term ambition, but in the medium term and in the short term, you need to make sure that you're doing everything to get there at the absolute peak of your powers. So what's that like, where you've got a long-term goal and every day kind of has to still be lived through, and you still need to make those improvements to make sure that you get to Paris in the right frame of mind and physically in the right condition?
I always been that kind of athlete. I enjoy training. For me, training, I really enjoyed it. For me, like, challenges at training really motivates me. So always like, okay, can I run more miles? Can I lift heavier? Like, for me, it's like, maybe sometimes it's difficult for my coaches, but I'm that kind of athlete. I'm driven by challenges in training. And if I have that, because for me, it's like, okay, like how much more can my body handle? How much, okay, obviously with a bit more miles, more lifts, or all these things that we do, like harder training session. Okay, obviously you need to, like, okay, brother, you need to eat more. You need to, make sure that your sleep is, spot on, and all these kind of things. But I feel like that kind of, because I really enjoy, and I'm athlete that I really enjoy training, and I enjoy challenges in training. I know that, like, the more you're able to challenge yourself in these situations, you'll be better at races. And obviously then the races come, and, then there's this craft that you need to develop and improve on. And the more races you do, the better you become at it. But because I enjoy that process, for me, I don't really think about it. it just really happened for me naturally.
Greg, can I just ask you finally from me, like the current level, quality level at 1500 metres especially, and middle distance and amongst Irish female athletes is quite incredible. And look, what people might not realise, regardless of your visual impairment, you've been competing in national finals at 1500 metre distance as well. So, I mean, it must be a really positive time in Irish athletics when you see the achievements of the likes of Ciara McGeehan and our other athletes who are competing on the world stage.
Oh no, absolutely! It's been such a breakthrough, and it's very motivating, and it's a nice thing to see. Like, we can return and come back to the 800 meters, and like how like Nadia Power started running so well, or like Shifa, and all these girls started breaking through 800 meters at the time. PBs were just like changing, and all these things. It's incredible to see, athletes doing well, and they're having these massive breakthroughs, even, after years being in sports. And, we all know that we all as an athlete have tough times, and we most of the time have not that great. There's very small number of those amazing, memorable, fantastic races where you look back as an athlete and say, oh my God, that was something incredible, because there's a lot of aspects that come in that perfect race. But it is, for me personally, it's very motivating and very inspiring to see middle distance and a woman actually go improving so much. And it's going to be very exciting to see what the future holds as well.
What are your plans for Christmas?
So actually, we'll be going to Lithuania for a few days, visiting my family, because I haven't been to Lithuania for 9 years now. So I thought it was time to visit my family for a few days and spend the Christmas with them.
Well, listen, we wish you a great Christmas, and hopefully you'll do the goal mile in Lithuania. Greta Streimikyte, best of luck. Thanks a million.
Thank you.